So this week we had the historic hearing by David Grush, and he is a former military intelligence officer and whistleblower who came out with a couple other people to talk about UAPs or UFOs at Capitol Hill during a congressional hearing where Congress is trying to get more information as to what these things are and how deep the rabbit hole goes, because apparently there is a lot of information out there and a lot of rumors, and apparently the realization that we have not only the craft that we're trying to reverse engineer, but at the same time we have biologicals, meaning that yeah, we have some aliens that the U.S. government has been harboring, because sometimes you find pilots in these UAPs. So this is a historic meeting. I can't even oversell how important it was, especially for those of us who believe in UFOs or UAPs or aliens. Like, this was a huge moment.
Any source of propulsion from the flying object, including on any potential thermal scans from your aircraft?
No, there's none. There's no IR plume coming out, and Chad, who took the video, went through all the EO, which is black and white TV, and the IR modes, and there's no visible signs of propulsion. It's just sitting in space at 20,000 feet.
In your career, have you ever seen a propulsion system that creates no thermal exhaust?
No.
Can you describe how the aircraft maneuvered?
Abruptly, very determinate. It knew exactly what it was doing. It was aware of our presence. And it had acceleration rates. I mean, it went from 0 to matching our speed in no time at all.
Now, if the fastest plane on Earth was trying to do these maneuvers that you saw, would it be capable of doing that?
No, not even close.
And just to confirm, this object had no wings, correct?
No wings.
Now, was the aircraft that you were flying, was it armed?
No, it never felt threatened at all.
If the aircraft was armed, do you believe that your aircraft or any aircraft in possession of the United States could have shot the Tic Tac down?
I'd say no. Just on the performance, it would just left in a split second.
It looks like we have a problem here that needs further investigation.
Yes.
In your belief, is this flying Tic Tac, I mean, is it capable of being the product of any other nation on the Earth?
No, like I said earlier, I think it defies current material science and the ability to develop that much propulsion. And I know there's been some physicists who have done calculations which is beyond anything that we have.
Well, either the United States has an adversary here in this world that we don't know, or we really have some serious investigations to do. I really appreciate you being here. Is there anything else about the November 14th, 2004 incident that you think is important for this committee to know that you haven't been asked here today?
No, it's been said it's probably the most credible UFO sighting in history based on all the sensors that were tracking it, and then for us to get visual and to go against the naysayers that it's something on the screen or whatever. I mean, there's 4 sets of human eyeballs. We're all very credible. Of the 6 of us that were involved in the thing, including the video, every one of us is going to do 20 plus years in the military in very responsible positions. So I would say the world needs to know that. It's not a joke.
Thank you very much for your testimony here today for all of you, and I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
If this is the case, why has the government been lying about aliens this entire time? And I think that they explained it very, very clearly through the entire conference, and that is because the government has no idea what the hell is going on. So apparently, and this is kind of like the gist of what we got, and this is why the US government has been lying about aliens this entire time, there is a secret part of the government that has been siphoning funds away from other projects to stay funded to reverse engineer and collect these aircraft and do research on them, and only a select few amount of people are brought in and given this information. And a lot of the times, if not most of the time, it's not people in Congress, it's not people in the Senate, and it's not even the president. It quite literally is like Independence Day, where the president in that movie had no idea that we had UFOs. It's the exact same thing. We don't know these things because the shadow government, as I'm calling it, is hiding a lot of it, and that's why they're trying, Congress is trying to get these this information because they're like, okay, we are the government. Why is there a part of the government that we do not have access for when a lot of us have clearance to the top level information of the government, and yet there's this part that we're not allowed to know? And the government in this particular area is more closely controlled by the military. So that is the reason that you don't know about these things. And a lot of Congress, you see them asking questions, they don't know, because there is a huge portion of the government that is just a shadow part that is doing all this secretive stuff and siphoning money and basically cooking the books, essentially, and taking our tax dollars, really, and not giving us any clear information. But why would they do this? And they explained it during the hearings, and that is because they're trying to reverse engineer this technology. And if this technology, or the knowledge that we have this technology, or how far our information has gone, gets in the wrong hands, gets in the hands of other governments or our enemies, it could be really, really catastrophic. That's the reason that they're hiding it so well, because it could lead to something that is super, it could hurt a lot of people, essentially, because there could be a war where one side has access to even a smidgen of this technology, even like, say, cloaking or something, and we would be so at a disadvantage, it would be terrible. So in a sense, they're trying to keep us safe, but in another sense, they should be really, really clear and give us all the information instead of hiding it and lying about it. But yeah, that's the reason that the government has been lying. Let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the hearings. Do with this information as you will.